there's also a big issue in terms of popularity with this Labour government. So look at what happened when Slippery Starmer went out to the races. So Nigel Farage has capitalised brilliantly on that moment today. Choose your fighter, he says, June. And it is quite a contrast, isn't it?
Well, what they can't get over, no matter how much they try to disrespect Nigel Farage, is he is the people's choice. It's as simple as that. 98 seats, they came second. That means that if all those apathetic people that didn't vote this time come out next time to vote, then you really have a serious opposition. They're the only serious opposition now anyway. So the thing about Nigel, he's got this charisma. He can talk to people. He talks to them, not at them. And that's what's missing. That's why your show's so popular, because you talk to people, not at them. These other presenters, like with Sky News, they talk at people. We know better than you, listen to us. Whereas when you're listening to Nigel, you feel you're with him in the room and he's talking to you.
You're so right, actually. And I mean, look at what Lammy said, Leilani, about Nigel and Trump. He couldn't have been more wrong, describing them as two con men, saying they've been publicly exposed, that they were trying to sell their pyramid scheme one last time in 2020. Well, that is actually a delusional comment. Lammy is the one that is deluded, because I don't believe Trump or Farage are even close to finished.
No, and you know what? If you look at the popularity, you can see there, people dislike Keir Starmer immensely. He's getting name called all the time. You don't see that with Nigel. I saw other things where other videos of another Labour MP in another part of the country being heckled until he was pushed out of a pub. People don't like Labour because they know that they're liars. They know that they aren't following through on any of the things that they said. They've relied on people that have voted for Labour historically, assuming that they're going to be the same Labour Party, and they're not. These are people that don't care about the working class of England, and they've prioritised themselves. So, you know, I think what he said, he should probably look at Donald Trump and look at Nigel and see that the charisma they have and see how people actually really get behind those two guys. He's very bitter and he's obviously very jealous of their popularity.
Yeah, totally. And they're not going anywhere, Lammy. That's the thing. You're the one actually who people are sick of already. Now, breaking right now, a shocking development when it comes to the UK's two-tier justice system. A Rotherham rape gang survivor was ordered by a judge to remove a demand for her abusers to be deported in her courtroom victim impact statement. Now, this story has been revealed by Charlie Peters at GB News, who has been on this story for a long time. There are the 7 men who received a huge amount of jail time, quite rightly, in a story ignored by the mainstream media last week. But at the Sheffield Crown Court, the victim was unable to say what she wanted to do because of a ruling from the judge. Now, GB News has actually obtained the original copy of the speech that she intended to deliver, which had several sections crossed out due to restrictions ordered by the judge. Now, what this woman wanted to say to the man who had groomed and raped her from a young age was, "I'd like to request that after sentencing and upon Ruby and Shuabi's release, that they should be deported back to Pakistan, as this is where they originated from and came here to exploit children. Thank you." She is referring, of course, to Muhammad Amar, that is Ruby. He is 42, convicted of 2 counts of indecent assault and sentenced to 14 years imprisonment. Suella Braverman, the former Home Secretary, has responded to this development, saying, "For too long, women have been let down by the justice system, and the grooming gang scandal continues to be a national disgrace. Justice would be better served by speeding up cases, many of which are over a decade old." And Lee Anderson, the Reform UK MP for Ashfield, went further, saying, "For far too long, these Pakistani grooming gangs have got away with grooming and raping young English girls, whilst the police and social services have been very slow to act. It would now appear that even when these vile perverts are caught, that our justice system still puts the perpetrators before the victims. No ifs or buts. If they were born in a different country, send them back straight away." But first, if you've been following my channel, you know I've talked about Verso before. They were my first ever sponsor for a reason. I've been using their products since earlier this year, initially drawn to the longevity benefits, the feeling more youthful, the having more energy, enhanced cognition, better sleep, all of that sort of stuff. But there was an unexpected bonus I started to notice. Salbean by Verso isn't just about slowing down the aging process, it's packed with research-based ingredients that also promote fat loss. These ingredients have been proven in both animal and human studies to boost metabolism and improve body composition through a variety of body mechanisms. One aspect is how these ingredients increase the body's process to break down fat and act as a calorie restriction. Mimetic, essentially fooling your body into thinking it's consuming fewer calories. They also help regulate glucose and leptin levels, which suppress hunger and increase feelings of fullness, effectively curbing cravings. Now, I take Salbean every day to feel like a younger version of myself, combating the signs of aging, which is amazing on its own. Experiencing fat loss, though, is an added bonus and something I'm very happy about. Plus, Verso ensures transparency and quality by publishing third-party testing results for each batch they produce, so you know exactly what you're paying for. Click the link in the description on YouTube and Rumble, or head over to ver.so and use the coupon code Outspoken at checkout to save 15% on your first order. To repeat, that's buy.ver.so, www.buy.ver.so/outspoken. Use the coupon code Outspoken. So Leilani Dowding, this is an extraordinary story on so many levels. I mean, the fact that it was only Charlie Peters from GB News, the lone journalist sitting in that Sheffield courtroom last week, is a complete disgrace. Congratulations for Charlie, given he has doggedly covered the story. But I cannot believe that we now have judges censoring victim impact statements, Leilani, not because what this poor victim wanted to say was in any way going to prejudice any other court case, but simply because her words are not palatable to the woke elite.
Well, it's unacceptable. The whole judiciary system in this country needs to be looked at, and it needs to be reviewed, because this is a victim. And if you're going to allow a victim to make a victim impact statement, then allow her to say what she damn well wants. Don't start censoring the bloody victim. This is unacceptable, Dan. It's, you know, how many more times can you hurt these victims? Aside from the fact, you know, years ago, they weren't believed. Now they're believed. Now they go to court. The guys get, and she cannot say what she wants to say because it's not palatable. It's not right with the woke establishment. It's not, you know, it's just unacceptable. If you're going to allow a victim to give a victim impact statement, let the victim say what they wish to say. And you're right as well about Charlie being the only person that's going to be there. I think this has become so common. It's almost like it's being normalized. This is horrific. What happened in these events to this woman as an 11-year-old are so horrific. Yet I think it's just something, oh, another one. Why cover it? It's just another one. We'll just get the information secondhand. And it's the media, the mainstream media, the judiciary system, it's horrific. And I don't trust any of it. One single iota.
June, I actually wonder if Leilani is being too fair there to the mainstream media, Because I actually think what the mainstream media is doing here is far more sinister and far more corrupt. I believe they do not cover these cases because it does not fit the narrative that they want to give. Because June, the moment that it was white working class people being sent to prison for tweets and Facebook posts after the Southport massacre, Sly News was more than happy, BBC was more than happy, ITV was more than happy to send its reporters up and down the country to stand outside these regional court houses.
Well, you've hit the nail on the head. Unfortunately, we have lost our media. We have a Stasi state media now.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether it's the BBC or it's a commercial channel. And they're so busy being woke and being politically correct that they are completely unaccepting the fact that there's a group of people within a community that gravitate towards grooming gangs that come from a particular background, and they are a phenomenon. And it needs to be acknowledged because the people living in the communities know about it. And when I say communities, I'm talking whole towns. I'm talking Rochdale, Oldham, Burnley, Blackburn, Bradford. We know the towns, the mill towns of the former Industrial Revolution, the cotton towns, the wool towns, and then the towns in the Midlands. People understand fully, the public understand fully what's gone on. And the sad thing is that Labour basically kept it quiet, not because they were favouring these people, because they were saving votes, because basically this demographic have larger families and they're securing the votes of the future. Because where we have 1.4 children, they have 5.4 children. So that's more votes. It's not even about ethics or morals. This is simply about slimy people in politics trying to nurture a position of power that they wouldn't gain through normal means.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please do subscribe if you want lots more clips and interviews like that. Plus, if you want to watch our totally uncensored after show, then visit www.outspoken.live.